Professor Michelle Haber is not just Executive Director of the Children's Cancer Institute, but also one of its longest-serving employees. She was appointed the Institute's inaugural postdoctoral scientist in 1984.
That means that I am coming up to 40 years very soon since I have been working here, and it's changed dramatically.
The biggest change has been survival rates for children diagnosed with cancer. Just a few decades ago, childhood cancer was considered something almost impossible to beat. Today, more than 80% of young patients do. But on average, 3 Australian children still die from cancer every week. And even for those who do survive, it often comes at a cost.
Because the treatments that are given are exceptionally harsh on a young growing child's body.
Standard chemotherapy involves drugs that are designed to stop rapidly dividing cancer cells from growing.
That's fine if the only thing in the body that's rapidly growing is the tumour. It's not fine if you've got a child whose entire organ system and body, all the cells are growing and rapidly dividing. So these kids are more often than not left with serious, lifelong and potentially fatal side effects.
Professor Haber has dedicated her career to improving those outcomes. In the 1980s, she and 2 colleagues developed a new molecular approach for the most common form of childhood cancer, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Their techniques more than doubled survival rates for children with the high-risk form of the disease.
That said to me, oh my God, if we could really understand the genetics of children's cancer, if we had a picture of what's going on in every tumour, we can begin to tailor treatments.
That became possible with the mapping of the human genome. Professor Haber has been the driving force behind the Zero Childhood Cancer Program. Zero sequences the unique genome of each child's cancer and compares it to their normal genome. That then allows doctors and scientists to formulate a personalised medicine recommendation for each child.
These drugs that match just specific genetic aberrations, they're not targeting all the normal cells in the child's body because those normal cells don't have that genetic problem. It's only the tumour cells.
70% of the first 250 children with high-risk cancer who received their personalised treatment recommendation as part of a national clinical trial entered either a complete or partial remission or had their disease stabilised while avoiding the side effects of chemotherapy. The program will now be made available to all Australian children with cancer.
It is a revolution in the model of care for these kids.
In addition to improving treatments, Zero is collecting massive amounts of data, which will then be shared globally and entered into a new National Child Cancer Predisposition Registry.
Then begins to lead to the opportunity not only for treatment of children's cancer, but prevention. And of course, that's the Holy Grail.
And something not even discussed when Professor Haber started researching kids' cancer. She describes becoming a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Science as the pinnacle of recognition.
Makes me feel very special, and it's a recognition for everything that we've managed to do together over the years. I'm over the moon.